What is going on, guys? It is Blink here, back with a new guide. So this guide is an extra guide for the day, and we'll be testing out a few different items and figuring out the best ways of using them. Also, the V-Bucks giveaway is still going on, so make sure to visit the link in the description to enter. And lastly, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications, as I post an Amazon gift card code in the comments every time I upload. By turning on notifications, you'll have a way better chance of getting here first and redeeming that code. Anyways, guys, let's get to this guide. So, this first example will let you guys know if you can stack stink bombs into doing more damage to your opponents. As I throw the second and third stink bomb over top of my opponent, his health hasn't dropped any faster, so you cannot stack stink bombs. Basically, anytime you meet up with your opponent, you want to throw it horizontally around your opponent, that way he's taking damage over time for a longer period of time. Let me show you guys two quick examples where I utilize both methods of throwing the stink bombs. In this first example, this opponent pushed into the house, and I threw all three stink bombs thinking it would do extra damage, and that's when I could have saved the last two and used them at another time. Now, I do get the knock, but I don't have the last two stink bombs that could have been useful. When you don't use them properly, then yes, they are pretty useless, but when you throw them strategically and at the right moments, then the stink bombs can be super OP. In this next example, you can see I spread all three of them out and also get the knock. This is a much better way of executing the stink bombs because of the amount of damage you can deal over time. So make sure you guys spread the gas if you're going to throw more than one. The next thing I want to talk about is traps. You guys might notice that your traps sometimes won't go off when your opponent's inside a box. And the reason for this is because your opponent might be standing too far from your traps. And yes, there is actually a trigger point for the trap, and that's just a few steps to the middle of the box. You can see I place a trap on the opposite wall my opponent is standing. He doesn't get hit until he takes a few steps forward. The same situation goes if your opponent's over top of your stairs. You can see El Banga had to move up a little bit in order to get hit. This is why I place my traps on the side walls, because you're more likely going to hit your opponent. Now, why this is good to know is because anytime your opponent places one trap, don't panic and get as far as you can from the trap, and you'll be able to break your way out of the box. Next, let's get into clingers. These are actually super good if you use them properly, and yes, spamming them is kind of what you want to do, but you only need to use two of them to do any damage to your opponent. I told El Banga to keep spamming his walls as I threw the clingers, because that's what your opponent is going to try doing. The first clinger will destroy the front and the two side walls, and the second clinger will damage your opponent. So it's pretty useful in a way, and you can't really outbuild it unless you back away. This next example is about avoiding fall damage when you've gotten knocked down. As you fall, you want to find any sort of materials under you and place that bounce trap on it. Now, if there's nothing under you, then there's nothing you can really do. But if there's at least a floor or a staircase, you can place your bounce trap on it to avoid fall damage. This isn't something you'll be able to do every time. It all depends if you got some lucky materials under you. I tried placing down my own ramp or floor, and I wasn't able to activate the bounce trap without dying. So you basically need some sort of materials under you in order to make it work. So this last example is a tip to drop down to the ground fairly fast without taking any fall damage. This was posted a few times on Reddit with a few different methods of doing it, so I'm not exactly sure who made it, but I'll show you guys a fairly easy way of doing it. It'll take a few tries for you to get it down right, but once you've got the right mouse movements, you'll be okay. So you want to edit any window in your wall. Pull your wall and hit the edit key and make the edit permanent on each wall you place. The window you make, you want to stand behind it. Next, get to the edge of the ramp and jump off the ramp. As you jump off the ramp, hold your left mouse button consistently to build walls. You also want to make sure you have turbo building on too. And lastly, as you jump off, hold your W key the whole time you're placing down the walls. Your character model will keep hitting the window, which resets the speed he falls at. You can do this at any height as long as you master the trick. It's a pretty cool trick to get down from high heights in seconds without taking any fall damage. Well guys, that's it for this guide. This guide was a little shorter and an extra one for the day, but hopefully it can help some people out. And a like and a sub will be greatly appreciated, as it does help me out a lot. Anyways guys, thanks for watching, and hope you have a great rest of your day or night, and I'll see you on the next one.